Hi guys, I'm gonna try this again because some reason the most disturbing things said by serial killers during interviews.
When Tommy Sells speaks about a rush, he's talking about a feeling of exhilaration, high-spiritedness, enjoyment, almost orgastic kind of enjoyment.
It's a sensation of tying that scarf around your neck and just watching your eyes. It's a sensation seeing that skin pull. It's a sensation sticking that knife in and just pulling, knowing it's sharp enough to just go all the way up. It's not the person. It's about the sensation of what you're into. The first time I did a shot of dope, it was the best feeling I ever had in my life. And the first time I killed somebody, it was such a rush. And it was just like that shot of dope. Every time I did it, it was that rush again. And I started chasing that high.
A 30-year-old mother, 7.5 months pregnant at home with her 3-year-old son, both bludgeoned to death. What are you thinking and feeling when you kill someone?
It's just like that drug. I'm after that drug again. I don't have a on and off switch. I'm just after that drug. I'm after that feeling.
During the beating, Eileen Dardeen went into spontaneous labor, giving birth to a daughter who investigators believed to be alive at the time. The new baby was also beaten to death, and the body of Dardeen's husband turned up a day later, shot 3 times in the head. I wonder if you could just tell me what happened as you were killing her. Did she give birth to a baby?
You know, you push and you love.
Sorry.
Let's not get into blood and guts because that's what you're trying to get into.
Decided to make the package smaller. It's easier to take it out in little pieces than take it out in big pieces. So a little hobby knife and a little effort made 6 pieces out of it. Once I had everything carved around, I just popped it across.
socket, sockets, promise.
Then, in late June 1993, Rifkin picked up his last victim, Tiffany Bresciani, while driving his mother's Toyota. He strangled her in the back seat and drove home.
She's naked. I threw some car mats on her. I'm passing the tour bus. Siding road. I remember pulling off, drove to Kmart.
Rifkin brought a blue tarp to wrap up Tiffany's body.
Now it's around 9 o'clock in the morning. Drive home. Mom has some shopping errands to run. It's her car. So Mom drives off. With basically a very odd-shaped package in her trunk. Mom never used the trunk that well.
After you killed her, you went back later to see the body. Is that right?
No, I went back to clean up.
She was found with her head removed. Did you?
That's right.
Oh, nice.
How did that happen? You pick it up and move it. You just pull the head off. Yeah, it was already off. That was a fit of anger. You know, we spent a day down at Turner Point Park, feeding the ducks, walking around, making out.
I'm sorry, we have a new dog in our family, guys. That's why you hear barking.
Tell the cop, snapped her neck.
You
Stayed
can
there all
see
day.
my new dog is so cute.
Then, split her open. Her neck to
He
the
is
right.
like go retriever and
Didn't go all
cups
the way deep into the
spaniel,
stomach area, just split
so
her
he's
open. I don't know
mixed.
why. What did your mother do? My mother gave me oral sex. She performed oral sex on me for several years. Then when I was 14 years old, I did intercourse and I ran away. I put a note on my pillow in my bedroom. I'm going to Syracuse, and I turned around and went to Canada. I just didn't want to go home.
Because you were being abused.
Yes, sir, I was.
All the victims, all of them, you know, and you're talking about a lot of them, a lot of lies just gone right down the tubes because of me, you know, in one way or another. And it's not a good feeling. It's not a pleasant feeling. I'm not proud of anything I've done. And the worst thing is I don't understand why. I don't understand why.
How much would somebody have to humiliate you before you'd become obsessed with killing them?
It would be the degree he humiliated me. If it were not much, and it would be the time. It would be how my attitude was. If I was jumpy.
I guess I'm off today and tomorrow.
If I was passive, then
I have time to talk to my boyfriend.
but
I think I'm gonna dye my hair probably
To shoot people up close.
definitely.
tomorrow. I don't know.
Before they left, I wanted to say goodbye.
Not Saturday, because I will be with my mom Saturday for photo shoot. I think I'm gonna dye my hair like
Pretty face.
Sunday, Monday.
Take it to them. With the last
Yeah.
day of the summer, it's me.
This is all fading out, so
They carry their
it's
clips.
time for me to dye my hair. So
Whatever it is, they're gonna be thinking of me.
if it's not Saturday, I could do it tomorrow.
People, when they see horrible things, if they see somebody badly injured,
Oh,
see something that awful, have
do the
visceral
same
reaction.
thing to
They feel
my
nauseous,
boyfriend.
they want to vomit. It makes them feel
I think I'm gonna like clean this side of my clothes tomorrow, so that I get out of the way.
Because then I would have had real problems on that
And tonight I'm gonna cut my
Dismembered
nails.
bodies. Did that turn your stomach?
It's long.
I don't think so. I remember having pizza one day while we were doing something like that.
Pizza in one hand, chainsaw in the other?
No. I didn't like chainsaws. That's another fable that they've come up with, that I use chainsaws. See, chainsaws are messy. All you get is all over me I have these little pieces of meat. Now that's a pain in the neck if I use chainsaws. Now would I want to ruin a good shirt with a chainsaw? That would be downright stupid. The smell sometimes
And I thinking
annoying, but I would
next
put cologne on
this week or next week I might off I might have to do laundry too.
so I can smell the cologne a lot better than I can smell anything else.
Oh, I had to do
Canoe or
everything.
something like that was always nice.
You're dating yourself with that.
But it was still nice.
What else would you use for the smell?
So what I would take is the bottle of Canoe and just throw it all over the walls and the floor and everything. And I'd have a $25 nice smell in the room. It was an expensive deodorant.
Gary Way.
The only thing that would be better than that would be to have your son in the car with you. That would be a incredible ruse.
That happened once.
What happened?
It was July 18th, I think was my brother's birthday. That weekend I picked up a woman on back highway, and Matthew was next to me in the seat, and she hopped in, and I took her over to in the South Airport area, and took her into an area, and my son was there, and I killed her.
22 minutes. Ugh.
Real sure my son didn't see it, but that only happened one time.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Was there something sexual in the dismemberment of the bodies? As time went on, yes, I did get that. There was a sexual part of it. Started.
I'm not against gay people. It's just not, you know, that's what he is. He's into men.
One thing led to
I mean, I'm only into men because I'm straight.
deviant type behavior to satisfy my spiral. Why can't that was another step. It made me feel like they were a permanent part of it. Besides the curiosity of what it would be like, it made me feel part of it. It gave me a sexual satisfaction. It was about a 1-foot square box, metal and wood box. My dad, when we came to visit, and happened to see it, and wondering what was in it. He didn't know. And I said, Jeff, open it up. I just want to see what's in there. Got into a bit of an argument, and I wouldn't open it up. And I said, Jeff, open it up, or I'm going to just take it down into the basement, get a screwdriver or something, and open it up. And I've got to stop this from happening. He got angry, very visibly agitated. All kinds of crashing out. Not fathoming what could be in that box. I said, okay, just open it up tomorrow, and then let's get rid of it, whatever it is. What was it? The mummified head, genitals of a young man I met in one of the clubs out in Milwaukee.
Why did you photograph them?
It was my way of remembering their appearance, their physical
He is
beauty.
one sick man, I tell you.
I also wanted to keep something. If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons. And I even went so far as planning on setting up an altar with the 10 different skulls and skeletons.
And what was the purpose of the altar going to be?
As a sort of memorial, a point where I could, I don't know, it's so bizarre and strange, it's hard to describe. A place where I could collect my thoughts and feed my obsession.
Always too.
What do you prefer in life? Sex or fire? Well, I like both. I like both. Maybe it is. Very good. I'm what you call a power maniac. A power maniac can be most anything, but I'm what you call a power maniac. I like to see a whole city burned down. A whole city. I like to see the whole city. The tallest building, I can see it. I see it. What do you feel when you see it? What do you feel?
He's weird.
So how come they get in the car with somebody at that time? She judged me not to be that guy. I didn't look like it. It was getting easier to do. I was getting better at it. I was getting less detectable. I started flaunting that invisibility, severing a human head, 2 of them, at night in front of my mother's residence, with her at home, my neighbors at home upstairs. Their picture window open, the curtains open, 11 o'clock at night, the lights are on. All they have to do is walk by, look out, and I'm at it. Why did you keep the heads when you cut them off, and why did you keep them?
Why?
Childhood. I could put it on an incident. I mean, my father chopping the heads off of our 2 pet chickens, and my mother insisting that I eat them for dinner. You know? And that's I knew a week before she died I was going to kill her.
Can I tell you
She went
something?
out to a party, she got
My
sour, she
great
came
uncle
home, went to sleep.
used to
Woken up by that, I got came out,
butchering on the pig too. So
staying there with the paper bag. Visited me thousands of nights before. And she said, "Oh, I suppose you're going to want to sit up all night and talk now." Shit. I looked at her, I said, "Oh, good night." And I knew I was going to kill her. You know? And I'm so cold, it's so hard. That's the first time in 10 years I've looked at it that way. I mean, that intense, that honest. It hurts. Because I'm not a lizard, I'm not from under a rock. I came out of her vagina. See? I came out of my mother. And in a rage, I went right back in. For 7 years, she said, I haven't had sex with a man because of you. My murderous son. It's one of our arguments. I cut off her head.
why?
Humiliated her corpse. It's there.
Man, dude.
6 young woman dead because of the way she raises her son and the way her son is raised, the way he grows up. What's her closing words? I suppose you want to sit up all night and talk. God, I wish I had.
But were you
were feeling while you were killing?
Well, he said especially the first two, which were very messy. It was a shock that first time. That horrified me. I did everything stupid, everything wrong. If I were trying to get away with it, it was just really, really dumb. The knife I fell back on, that was a fallback position. I was trying to smother her. That didn't work. And she was struggling against that and arguing with me about it. And I got frustrated, and I reached in my pocket. I had that folding knife, and I pulled it out. And for a lot of years, and I made a point of saying back then with the investigators, when I pulled the knife out and locked it into place, it clicked. And she said, "What's that?" That's a quote. "What's that?" And she was kind of like an Aggie kind of thing. "What's that?" And I couldn't figure out why she said that. Like, it's not that big an impact, a little clicking sound behind her, you know, amongst what's going on. And it hadn't been murderous up to that point. It had been an aggravation, and I had her tied up, or handcuffed. And it took me years for it to dawn on me, trying to look at it from different points of view to understand these things. Why she said that. You know why she said that? Because I had brandished this gun. And I had cocked it once, and it clicked. So in her mind, very possibly, I had pulled the gun out and was going to shoot her. So she said, "What's that?" And thinking I pulled the gun out now and I'm cocking it. Not realizing I pulled a knife out. I still had the gun in my pants. I stabbed her. She didn't fall dead. You're supposed to fall dead. You're supposed to go, "Oh," and fall dead. I've seen it in all the movies, right? It doesn't work that way. When you stab someone, they leak to death. They lose blood pressure, and you stab them more and more and more. You complicate it many times by where you're hitting, the pain you're causing, and the aggravation of the person involved, plus whether or not they leak a little faster. It wasn't working worth the damn. I stabbed her all over her back, and she even turned around. I stabbed her in the side and the stomach once. Why? As she turned around, I could have stabbed her through the heart. But her breasts were there. And it actually deflected me. I couldn't see stabbing a young woman in her breast. That's embarrassing. I didn't say that to them back then. I don't think. I may have. But that's humiliating to admit that I was that affected by her presence. I stabbed her in the belly. That had to hurt worse. I didn't do it to make it hurt. I was trying to shut her up. And she ended up getting her throat cut. And I learned the term ear to ear, what that meant, because that's the way it went. And she went out of it completely right then. She lost consciousness and died probably just moments after that. But I just backed up out of the car. My hands are covered in blood, and I'm saying, "Oh, God, I did it. I did it. I don't believe it. I did it. Shit, I've done it. Now I got to kill the other one."
Alright, guys. I will see you in my second one. So, yeah, I'll see you then.